There we go. Okay. Hello, happy Halloween. Well,
Happy Halloween.
it will be a day after Halloween when it probably gets uploaded, or a day or two after Halloween.
We've
But
had a few technical
we've
problems.
had a lot of technical problems. Um, it's been complicated.
Very.
So, with that said, how you doing, Ralph? What you been up to lately?
Honestly, just trying to upload more, stream more.
About the same. I've just been busy with, real life stuff. I'm basically beating a dead horse because I swear I say this in every episode.
I've gotten a little bit better at managing real life stuff and projects because I am working on something in the background.
Yeah.
We'll see when that gets
Well,
released, though.
let's be sure to look forward to it. Definitely.
All right.
So you wanted to talk about you recently beat Cyberpunk, which is
Yes.
I'm
Grand achievement.
I'm genuinely surprised that Cyberpunk is even still in anybody's minds after the whole debacle with the terrible launch and
Yeah, I think it was
just
the anime that shot it back up to popularity because it shot off. You know,
I heard the anime was really good. I heard it was
I
really good.
finished it. It
I
is really good.
I have not watched it yet. I need to. It's like on my bucket list of like things I need to watch. Like right now, I've been trying to watch all the Harry Potter movies. um,
I
Prisoner
mean, that's not
Prisoner of
bad.
Azkaban's probably the best, but the second one, uh, Chamber of Secrets, I think it is, or something like that.
I
Fuck,
believe.
God, it's too fucking long.
I
So
haven't watched those movies in years,
it's weird
so
because they try to fit the entire book into that movie.
yeah.
With the first movie, it kind of worked, but like, fuck,
The second.
so much fucking shit in the second. Like the second movie is like 3 hours long, and I'm just like, no, I no, thank you, I can't.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's also crazy that Cyberpunk was dead in the waters and now it's already planning a DLC and a sequel. So, hey, if anybody's hearing this, you can come back from about anything. Look at what Cyberpunk did.
I don't know how we went from Cyberpunk Harry Potter to Cyberpunk, but we found a way.
We found a way.
We found a way,
Found a
all right.
way.
Now, don't sing that. We don't talk about Drake Bell. We're not allowed to.
Oh yeah.
Uh, just kidding. Talk about Drake Bell all you want.
No, I was just referencing the song.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I know.
I know.
All right.
So far,
But
Prisoner of Azkaban's my favorite so far, and that's like the third one.
you know,
Um,
but the comebacks that aren't going to be happening anytime soon is
yeah,
probably
this
Google
is
Stadia.
this is pretty old news by this point.
Yeah, by this point in time, yeah.
I think it was like the beginning of this month when we found out, Stadia was gonna.
I called it from when it launched, bro.
Imagine spending hours and hours on Stadia just for them to shut the fucking thing down.
Yeah,
I heard like some games let you transfer progress. I know like Rockstar did it with Red Dead 2
right.
and at like the last minute or some shit like that. And I'm just like, fuck. God damn it.
Imagine losing all your progress because you didn't know that feature was by the last day. Oh, I'd been mad.
It's not even, I don't know, like Google really kind of fucked it up just the way they set up Stadia.
Yeah,
And there's other like ways to stream video games that are probably way better than what Stadia ever had to offer.
this is also true.
Like Nvidia,
I remember the catalog wasn't up to that big
no,
for
it
Google
wasn't. I think you
Stadia.
had to like buy the games and pay for a subscription service.
Yeah,
While with I think with like Nvidia Shield, I think you just have to pay for the service, and they.
and then you get the games depending. Well, now companies are doing tiers now. So
Yeah,
pay this
but
much.
that's a bit different than a full streaming thing.
Right.
And not to mention the selection was kind of iffy, and the quality was kind of like. And I don't think we're quite at the point where everybody has an amazing internet connection to where they can stream games that well.
I know I don't.
I know I
I'll
don't.
be
I
honest.
don't. I don't either. I don't. And
Honestly, like, I just really think they shot themselves in the foot.
oh yeah, there's probably like other fucking things that went wrong with Stadia, but you
That's
know.
just like behind the scenes.
And it's kind of funny that like they expected Stadia to like be this big revolutionary thing, which isn't really revolutionary because streaming video like gaming streaming services has existed before Stadia.
Yeah.
You know, some of them, there's even some older than Nvidia, I think, but it's
I
besides
believe
the
so,
point.
yeah.
I couldn't tell you which ones. I just know that they existed at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Stadia's dead in the water. You know, people spend a lot of money on their. Hopefully, they get all the. Apparently, they're doing refunds, and I hope everybody gets fucking refunded because that is.
I heard that they are doing refunds.
They're doing refunds for like everything, basically. I just feel bad for people who put hours and hours into games and Stadia.
Yeah,
deserve to get shut down, and the company and maybe some of the companies don't offer the fucking data transfer to PC or console.
Oh yeah, that just losing all your data. That is just the worst.
I heard like a dude had like 200 hours put into like Red Dead Redemption 2 on Stadia.
Yeah.
And he was like begging and begging. You know, he made about.
They finally did it.
Yeah, they did it like I think like the last minute before they took Red Dead off or whatever.
Well, yeah, he didn't want those hours just to be gone forever.
And no, Red Dead Redemption is a huge fucking game.
Oh yeah.
I really need to replay Red Dead Redemption 2 again sometime. I love it.
I think I might replay it here shortly. Honestly. After beating Cyberpunk, I need another game to maybe beat again. We'll see.
There's always that, Shadows of Rose DLC you can play. I've played
Yeah,
a bit of, I've played a bit of that.
that.
I've played a good bit of that, and it's pretty good. So it's pretty good,
Yeah, go to his channel because he'd be live streaming it.
I find it funny, even though it's third person, the camera still resists to show you Ethan's full face.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, at the same time,
I think it's just a stylistic choice at this point. Like,
right.
The man just doesn't like his face.
Just does not like it shown.
He's one of those people that probably like before the pandemic. He's one of those people that would wear fucking like masks.
Yeah.
And people would think he's robbing the place when he's just trying to buy a fucking soda.
I'm trying to rob a place with a fucking Mountain Dew. Could you... you ring me up, please? Can you imagine that? They think you're trying to rob a store with a Mountain Dew can.
I actually had a fan theory about Ethan Winters. I don't remember the name of the mental illness, and this is just based. I don't really have anything to back this up, but
oh yeah, it's a
mental illness where you can't recognize faces,
your own face,
your face or other people's faces.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
It's also I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it. Come on, Google, help me. Come on, help me pronounce it.
Please.
Okay.
So how do you pronounce it?
Wait, let me. Come on, Google, help us.
Please.
Prosopagnosia.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that.
Prosopagnosia.
Yeah, that would explain why Ethan can't see his reflection and shit.
Yeah.
Because he can't recognize his own face.
I mean, that makes sense because through Ethan's games, we were first person. We were seeing what he sees,
Good boy Ethan's just insecure.
Yeah.
Because he's a good boy.
Yeah, he went out a good boy.
May I stand on...
Anyway,
it's a cover. I can't get copyrighted by a Red Dead Redemption.
You never know. You never know.
My goddamn Red Dead Redemption 2 soundtrack.
Yeah, like I said, never know.
That's the way it is.
Well,
Man. So talking about, stuff that's, dead in the
yeah,
water, and all that, nonsense that we were fucking spewing. It's spooky month, and I often think, do ghosts really exist, or is it just, or is there a logical explanation? I mean, I think it's like, I'm like 75% sure, or probably a little bit more. I'm like 80% sure that almost like most ghost sightings are fake.
yeah,
But
I can
I'm
understand that.
open to
Was.
I'm open to saying like maybe ghosts exist in some form. I don't know.
All right, here comes story time because I do believe it. They do exist, and when I was living, I'm not gonna say the area, but when I was living pretty nearby a good area, yeah, that good transition. Anyway, I was just sitting on my bed, just relaxing. It was about, I would say, at least 7-ish years ago, I would say.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting on my bed, just relaxing, just practically just fucking off. And I didn't know this, but there's a item. I think it was like, I honestly think it might have been a GameCube. Like that's what I remember at least. It was thrown at my head, like from behind me to in front of me. Like I narrowly dodged it, and like there was nobody else in the room other than me watching TV. So personally, from my experience, yes, I do believe that ghosts are real, and I do think I may have pissed one off.
Well, actually, I'm sure there's a scientifically clear explanation for this. I'm pretty sure you just imagined the GameCube flying and hitting you in the fucking head. I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty. Well.
Obvious.
I think that's pretty
Yes.
obvious. You gotta. You're just fucking stupid in the fucking head because you're a dumb fucking kid. Come on, you dumb motherfucker. Ghosts don't exist. Fucking. Next thing you're gonna tell me is Ronald McDonald exists. Fuck.
But yeah, that, and I did have a buddy, and I do fully believe that my previous house was haunted because I remember my buddy. Gonna get stupid. Um, he was just in the restroom, and this is from his point of view. He looked in the mirror, and there's a woman standing behind him in the mirror. I have never seen my buddy run down the stairs as fast as I did right there in my life.
I think the biggest issue with ghosts existing is it's very hard to prove.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to prove.
Well, because like you can't really just see it with the naked eye, you know.
Exactly, and I think what doesn't really help is the internet. There's so much people just make fake ass fucking ghost videos.
Yeah.
With shitty fucking editing that a fucking 2-year-old could put together, and I mean
You're right.
But when it comes to me, I don't know. I'm open to the idea, that ghosts could exist. I even think maybe there could be a scientific reason that ghosts exist. What when people think ghosts, they always think religious. They always think religious reasonings for ghosts.
Right.
But, I don't know. Could there be a scientific reason for ghosts exist? A scientific reason ghosts exist. I don't know.
I mean, might be.
That's kind of what always gets me. It could be a scientific reason that ghosts exist. I don't know, Adams.
Could be a scientific
Adams
reason that
fucking...
a ghost chucked a damn GameCube at little me's head.
No, gravity just had a fucking fit that day.
It just said, "Okay, your turn."
Yeah.
Sorry, bud, but gravity chose you.
I have a couple examples that I think may have been like paranormal, and they're not very interesting, but
Might as well shoot it out.
I'll share the two of them. I remember when I was young at my old house, and this is like way before that said house ended up getting re-renovated into a much nicer house. It was not a nice house when I lived there.
Fair.
My bedroom was right across the bathroom. And I remember the way my bed was set up, I could see, usually the bathroom was, like, door was open at all times, unless people were using it, obviously.
Mm.
And I just remember sitting there as a kid, just sitting there, and all I see is, I just see, like, I see, like, a hand, like, a very, like, transparent hand kind of moving, and I see, like, a partial face in the mirror. And it's like, it looked like the ghost was, like, shaving or something. Like
You just all right.
That's what it
gotta shave, man.
That's what it kind of looked like to me. I can't quite explain it. I just remember being fucking terrified as a fucking child. My heart fucking stopped. My heart stopped. And I was just thinking, like, please go away, please go away. This is just a dream. It's just a dream.
I think there is like a spiritual explanation, something about an echo of the past. Like,
yeah. Another example. One time, that same house. This was a couple years after that, probably a couple years later. My sister had a keyboard, a piano keyboard, and I specifically remember sometimes that keyboard would start playing when nobody was in that bedroom. And I remember one specific example. There's others, but this is the main one. I remember I got out of the shower. I think it might have been in like the summer or something like that. Because I wasn't at school. I just got out of the shower and I walk in the hallway and I just hear the piano playing. And it's playing like a small riff, and of course it's very slow too, so it makes it fucking unnerving as shit.
Right.
So I said, oh fuck, I guess my sister's playing piano. Let's see how she's doing. Walk into the room, the lights are off and nobody's inside.
Man, little me would have sprint for it because I would have thought that was a trap. I played enough video games to know when that's a trap.
I stood there and I looked around. And I just thought to myself for a moment, I'm thinking, that didn't just happen. That didn't just happen. No, that didn't happen. So I just kind of, I kind of just said, screw it. It was probably just my imagination, and I walked off. Went downstairs and fucking forgot about it. Unrelated, but this is a pretty kind of terrifying situation I had as a kid. As a kid, do you remember those clocks that would like talk to you when like certain times would like?
I believe so. Yeah.
Like clocks that would like say stuff when like I don't know when it's like noon or whatever.
I think so. Yeah.
I remember just one day I woke up and it was a Saturday morning. I was just laying in bed. I was about ready. Shoot, how am I gonna start my morning? Am I gonna watch cartoons? Am I gonna go outside for a bit? Am I gonna fucking stuff my face full of cereal? What am I gonna do? So I'm sitting there and I'm just chilling in bed. I just woke up. And all of a sudden, it was this Rugrats clock. And it just randomly said something. It said like, what's happening, dude? Or some fucking weird fucking line. And it fucking scared the shit out of me. Like, I jumped.
Dude.
And I could have sworn... I could have sworn that clock was... I think that clock was, like, broken, too. Because, like, apparently, like... I guess there's something wrong with the circuitry where it would only, like, talk at certain times. But then it fucking spoke. And I fucking jumped. And I looked up at that clock. And I looked at that clock, I was like, don't you ever fucking talk to me again.
Like a Resident Evil character, don't you Do that again.
I will go up there and I will rip you off the fucking hinges and fucking break you to get my ass beat because I broke a clock. But still,
It's worth it.
It's worth
You
it.
possessed mother.
Like, fuck off, Tommy from fucking Rugrats. God.
I only have 2 other times where I had paranormal activity, but like one I kind of just cut off when I was a kid because like I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was like dead at night. I was like maybe like 6 or 7. I looked up, and I lived in like a really small house. So like I look up, I look out the kitchen, and there's just this figure there with red eyes, and completely just dark. Little me just kind of rolled up under his blanket, and that was it. And this one other time, it was actually with my folks. I'd say I was like maybe like 13, 14, something like that. I remember my dad asking my mother, "Hey, did anybody stay over that night?" She was like, "No, nobody did." Like, and my dad said that there was, and ironically, this was the same house I had a GameCube thrown at my head. And my dad asked, "What do you mean?" Because I saw someone walk through last night. I called out and nobody answered. And yeah, my mom was like, "No, nobody was here last night. It was just us." So yeah, that was the only 2. They're kind of creepy. I would not go back to that house if you gave me $1 million. I'm 90% sure it was haunted.
Let me tell you, this isn't really paranormal, but it's definitely creepy. But at the moment, I didn't see it as creepy. I just found it weird. But now looking back, it's really fucking unnerving. Okay, so my family used to go to family reunions, and we would go to this. It was near like a church. We would do the family reunions there, and towards the back way there was like a stage, and this stage was torn to fucking apart. You know, it was graffitied on. There's fucking, there's fucking like, people were drawing dicks on the fucking insides of it. I don't even know what the fuck the stage was used for.
Yeah.
I think it might have been used for something, but I don't fucking know what it was used for. All I know was the church apparently. All I know is the church apparently had it set up for something. I don't know if they ever had music playing there or not. I don't know. And it still stands there to this day, but it's really torn down. They just need to tear that fucker all the way down, honestly. But I remember a lot of the kids would go over there and they'd play over there. They'd play in that area, Probably shouldn't have. And I remember me, my cousin, and my sister, we'd go hang out around there. And I remember one day, there must have been some kind of weird cult shit going on there. Because
that's when you notice for it.
either a cult shit or like meth heads doing meth head shit or something. Because all I remember is like, okay, we found this blanket, okay, and it was like wrapped. Something was wrapped in the blanket. So my cousin took like a stick and she like unwrapped it, and there was a fucking like, it looked like an animal carcass, but it was the weirdest looking animal carcass I've seen in my life. Like, it didn't have no... At first, like, you think it was like just cut the head off and the legs off.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no like flesh marks to indicate that it was like cut off. It was like a fucking log of like flesh. And a log of like, fur and flesh.
Damn.
And it was the weirdest shit. At the moment, we found it funny for some reason, which is kind of fucked up in retrospect. But I think it was more or less. I think it was just more or less just us laughing to kind of like, just the react to it without making a scene. We just kind of like laughed it off, like, if I can crackhead or whatever,
Yeah.
But that was really weird, and there was some other weird shit around that area. And I could have sworn some weird shit happened there. I don't know if like a couple of fucking hobos or fucking crackheads or fucking cultists or fucking
Whatever that,
I
you
don't
don't want to know either.
somebody was there. I don't know if it was like I don't know. I still want to know what the fuck happened. I'm never gonna know what happened. I just want to know how the fuck.
I would never go over there, man. I'm like,
I just want to know how that carcass came to be and how the fuck it got like that. Why it was wrapped in a goddamn blanket near the stage, and why the fuck we kept doing reunions there for so many years.
I mean, these are also fair questions.
So yeah, that's not really, you know. I know it's like not really like. I mean, it's debatably scary, but it's not really like spooky or paranormal. It's just fucking.
More like unnerving.
It's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
And looking back, it's just like, what the hell? You know, what the hell was?
What were you thinking?
What were they thinking? Fuck. God damn.
Anyway.
I don't know. Maybe they came back as something. I don't know. Maybe they came back as ghosts and they haunt the they haunt the area or whatever. And I don't know.
I would
maybe the carcass was a sacrifice or some B movie horror bullshit.
I would love to bring back, like, I honestly would just want to be a lion or something. If I could like come back to life as something.
It's so weird because you can die and come back as many things. You can come back as a ghost. You can come back as a vampire. Come back as a zombie.
I think the worst case scenario is zombie.
You can come back as a fucking doll. You come back.
No, thank you. Have you watched Annabelle?
I was thinking Chucky, but you know that works.
Oh yeah, that too.
I was thinking Chucky, but I guess you thought, you know.
I mean, practically see. Never mind. Anyway.
You could come back as a fucking demonite, Evil Dead bullshit.
Evil Dead bullshit, where it's like a 50-50 shot of working.
You could
fucking love the Evil Dead films. There's actually a new one coming out.
Come back
Evil
as a
Dead
you
Rise.
can come back as a werewolf, I guess. You could come back as
I mean, this is also true. I think werewolf wouldn't be that bad because you do turn back. You know?
come back as I don't know what the fuck else can you come back as. There's a lot of things you can come back as. You could get reincarnated. You can get reincarnated to a tree, a fucking animal, another human,
a fucking tree,
another human being,
a lion,
a log,
a log
of shit.
A log of shit.
No, it's living things, not inanimate objects. I guess you could come back as bacteria. That's a living thing, right?
I believe.
Come back as an atom.
Come back as an atom.
Come back
as like one of the flu. Like just the flu. Just be an atom.
Come back as Bigfoot from GTA San Andreas 2006 fucking video. The people who remember that fucking old ass fucking video, hit me up. You're good.
He needs to know that he's not alone.
For some, it's kind of funny because a lot of those old like GTA like myth videos, which are obviously just old GTA San Andreas mods.
Yeah,
I remember so many of them. Like they used the exact same music, and it was always this weird techno song.
Yeah,
and it'd go like da 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 da. I can't. It's really weird. It's listening to that music now. It's kind of unnerving. I don't know if it's because I'm like nostalgic for that like age of the internet, or if it's just the fucking music just rubs me the wrong way because it's so fucking like Dislandish. It feels like something aliens would fucking sing in a church.
Aliens would sing in a church. Now that's insane, Roche. Or the Destroy All Humans game.
I have not played Destroy All Humans. I know they recently made a remake or whatever.
They remade both first and second game though.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of the second one, but that was just because I was with a friend.
You were with a friend. You were with a goddamn friend. Oh, you could also
Yeah.
come back as, like, you know, a deranged serial killer that won't die.
Oh yeah, Jason Voorhees.
Jason. Actually, I think Jason's considered a demon knight in some
Continuities.
some continuities.
I mean, I believe he's one in like Ash versus Freddy versus Jason. I believe. I haven't read that story in years, so I could be
I
completely
read the
wrong.
comic. It's pretty good. It's kind of weird, though, because Freddy fucks his own daughter. Or gets all sexy with his own daughter.
Yeah. It's odd.
Remember
It's
at
really
the end,
weird.
like, he turns Freddy back to his human form. I don't remember how. And he just fucking decapitates him.
I mean, that sounds like some shit Ash would do.
And in the end, Tommy Jarvis cuts off Jason's head with a large piece of glass that was conveniently on the floor.
That was conveniently there. Hey, he needed to win, you know?
It was a pretty good comic.
Honestly, I loved it. Like, it's not the greatest, but it's got its moments, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it was technically a sequel to the other one, which was Ash versus Jason versus Leatherface.
Right.
I think.
Oh, yeah,
I think he fought Leatherface at one point.
Knowing as much Ash goes through, I would not be surprised. Because, like, Ash goes through so much. Like, he even went through Marvel Zombies.
Groovy.
Ooh.
Of course, I had to say that. Talking about, you can't talk about Ash and just not say that.
All right.
It's a shame his TV. I still haven't watched the TV show, but it's a shame how his TV show kind of ended.
Got canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it had something to. I remember Bruce Campbell said it had something to do with the channel it was on, and it not becoming popular until after it got canceled, or when it didn't really get
Which
popular.
really bites.
And I guess it was on Netflix, and that's how it got really popular. And it was like, fuck. I think it was like Stars Network. I think that's the fucking channel.
Yeah, I believe so.
That originally aired it. I'm not very familiar with.
it.
I'm not very familiar with TV channels these days. I don't watch TV that often, and if I do, I'm watching professional wrestling. That's just that.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody I said that.
But no, well, looks like Ash might be not done with the new Evil Dead Rise that Bruce Campbell tweeted out. Maybe. We'll see.
He voices the character in the game, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That game that recently came out. About like
9 And I still need to get that game.
I have not played it yet.
Same.
I really should. And I mean, fuck. Have you checked out that Chainsaw Massacre video game? That's it's like
No, I haven't. Honestly.
Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, so it's kind of like the Friday the 13th game, but they try to make it like very close, like. But it's kind of different because there's like several family members trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So you just have to like escape and shit. It looks really cool actually, and the kills are brutal and it looks kind of horrifying honestly.
Definitely gonna have to take a look at it.
It's really and yeah, I guess you can play as like Leatherface or one of the other relatives, I guess.
Right.
Which makes me wonder if they're going to include like relatives from like the other movies, not just the first one and the second one.
I mean, that would make sense if they're going through it that way.
I don't know. It's just something I thought about. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know. Apparently, a lot of the Chainsaw Massacre movies are very hit or miss. Like, the first film was this grindhouse, I don't want to say down to earth, but like, grounded horror film that felt like it could actually happen to somebody.
Right.
While like the second movie was basically like a self-parody. The second movie was like a self-parody. Like I remember, and like the movie poster, they're literally doing the pose from Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, who's the fucking dude with the fucking metal in his fucking head? Fucking.
And I have not
you know
watched.
who the
I know who you're talking about, but
he picks at his fucking head with the fucking coat hanger.
yeah, it just I haven't watched that series in so long. It's been way too long. I'm probably gonna rewatch it here shortly. Honestly.
I heard they were going to make a. I think it's Chop Top. That's who it was. Chop Top.
Yeah.
Apparently, they were going to make like a Chop Top movie, like based off that character, like give him a spin-off movie. But I guess it just never came to be. It got stuck in development hell, and apparently they were going to get. This is weird. You know the. I never listened to any of his music, but I kind of know him because I hear his name. You remember Buckethead? You know the guitarist who wears like a KFC bucket over his head.
Yeah, I think so.
You've probably seen him in like pictures and stuff. Apparently, he was going to play Leatherface in that movie, but I guess
Casting problems.
I guess it just the movie never. I don't know if it. I think stuff got filmed for it, but I know it never released and it never got finished. I just know it was like a passion project that kind of that kind of fell under the ground. Kind of reminds me about other. It was like this game show, and it had Freddy Krueger's actor as the host.
Oh yeah.
And it was gonna be like them facing their fears and shit. And apparently, like 2 episodes were filmed, but they never aired and they never were published. I think they were just for like investors' sake. I think because a lot of these game shows and TV shows film episodes specifically just for investors and shit.
Right.
Which I think would have been interesting. And apparently there's like a prize if you could face your biggest fears and whatnot. And I guess it's a huge story. This YouTuber I watch, Wang, he made a video about it. Actually, he makes a lot of good videos. He like his Tales from the Internet series. Amazing. Amazing. I could like bench that entire series. There's so much weird shit that's happened on the internet since its inception.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing about it, though.
Yeah.
Kind of the best thing,
I remember
too.
that one episode where this couple, like, they wanted to film themselves losing their virginity, but I guess it never happened. And there's also this other one. There's this dude who wanted to. Both of his like legs or feet were like paralyzed.
Yeah.
So he wanted to like do a live stream or like a recording of him cutting off his feet. Because the doctors wouldn't do it for him or something like that. So he said so he was trying to raise like all this money to get a medical crew on standby, have like a fucking like guillotine for his feet. Because he doesn't have no fucking use for him, like
yeah, you ain't gonna feel it,
like, and he was like really funding it, and it was like apparently it caused a lot of controversy because apparently he was like very close to actually like he got like the money, but I guess like law enforcement got involved at one point, and legal issues happened, and I guess it just never fell through. But it's crazy that somebody actually now. Back then, it was probably fucking, like, unheard of somebody to do something fucking crazy like that on the internet.
Yeah, probably.
Now it's like, just a walk on a park on the fucking internet. Yeah,
that's a Tuesday, it's just...
Dude, I love reading about, like, even, like, some of it's, like, before my time. Like, before I ever even touched a computer, or even before I was a fucking sperm. Just some of the crazy... Fuck, just some of the crazy ass shit that like the early internet had.
Yeah.
I kind of I don't know. I kind of wish I could like go back in time for a bit and experience that.
Same, honestly.
Because the internet was nothing like it was back then. I don't know if it's just curiosity and nostalgia for people, or if it's just like now everything's so so connected to social media. Which and social media existed back then. It just wasn't.
Issue isn't that this important.
No. No. A lot of the time, if you wanted to talk to people, you'd have to go on like internet forums. And those were they were forums, all right.
They were definitely forums.
Fucking took a solid fucking 3 minutes for your fucking message to fucking get uploaded.
Yeah.
It was fucking slow. I remember Cartoon Network had like a board forum of like forums and stuff that for like TV shows and whatnot. I never participated, but I used to always read them.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically when Ben 10 Omniverse came out, and people were very, very decisive with the new art style. And I remember people took to the forum, and it was like this back and forth, you know. People they fucking hated the new art style. They
Or
fucking
they liked it.
or they just talk about, man, I wonder what Ben 10 would look like if they made Generator Rex style. I'm like, I mean, they did, but
Yeah.
but I mean,
Maybe that crossover.
and he was in that art style. I don't know if they would do it for an entire show. I don't even know if Cartoon Network even acknowledges that Generator Rex was a thing.
I don't know either, honestly.
They acknowledge Ben 10, and they acknowledge like Ben 10 like Alien Force and stuff and classic series, but I don't think they talk about Generator Rex now that I come to think about it.
I think it got I don't know if it got canned or did it actually have its own finale.
Nah,
Like-
it got canceled. I think it kind of suffered the same fate as Symbiotic Titan.
Yeah, probably. They were very picky about that type of stuff.
You know, or I guess they could just apparently this is just allegedly. Apparently, TV shows, they can, if a show is considered a financial failure, which you can really stretch out the term financial failure in the TV industry or movie industry.
Right.
You can really stretch that out. They can write it off on their taxes. And when they write it off on their taxes as a financial failure, they can't air that show in the United States again.
Yeah.
At least that's how I think it goes. Apparently that's what happened with Symbiotic Titan, as far as I know. I guess it was that, you know, unprofitable. But honestly, Symbiotic Titan, I believe if it was pitched to Adult Swim, it could have been.
It probably done better.
It could have been like the next big thing.
Yeah.
But at the time, Adult Swim was very weird with the shows they would air.
Yeah.
There's just a time where Adult Swim just kept trying to like pitch, like they thought like every fucking adult. At one point in time, a lot of adult cartoons were just trying to do what Super Jail did.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they weren't good at it. They weren't good at what Super Jail did, because there's a reason Super Jail worked and all of these others adult gross out shows didn't work. You know, good writing's part of it. I mean, Super Jail is a gory fucking mess, but you know, it has, you know, funny, cynical writing, you know.
Right. Honestly, I used to watch it.
It was crazy.
It was nuts. But I think that's what I liked about it.
Yeah. The fucking warden was just this fucking chaotic, you know, villain. Fucking neutral villain. Chaotic neutral villain.
Yeah.
By the way, that show has like a big fucking body count.
I know.
That show has a big fucking body count. And
I think, like, if you didn't see at least one death per episode, or at least 30, then you probably wasn't watching.
By the way, that transgender cop in that show, or fucking correctional officer, you could not convince me that it was not progressive for the time.
True.
I know, like, her design's disgusting, but she actually is pretty progressive. Yeah, as ridiculous as a character as it is, honestly, she was probably the best character on that show.
Yeah.
But a lot of shows kept trying to do that. Like Mr. Pickles tried doing that, and it obviously wasn't
fell apart.
Wow, this kid gets breast implants. Mr. Pickles kills a guy, rips his fucking ass out. I don't fucking cares. When it's a fucking, at least when a fucking person's doing it, you know, it's like you can add comedy to it. When you're just fucking, when you just have a fucking demonic dog going around and his weird ass fucking kid owner doing weird shit, it's like, who fucking cares? And it's not even,
Right.
It wasn't even really funny either. I mean, there's funny moments. I mean, every bad show has funny moments.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those people that like say, like
Something's completely.
like, sometimes I like trash. You know, sometimes I like to watch trash every now and again. You know, I think we all do. We like to watch stuff that's, you know, fucking garbage. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I like to play shitty video games. You know, you know, because of how fucking bad they are.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you gotta like, appreciate the bad shit, you know, before you can truly fully appreciate the good shit. Sometimes terrible games are fun. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
The Walking
It could
Dead
be
Survival
super fun.
Instinct. That game's fucking terrible, but I fucking played it. I played it a lot when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, I played it. It was fucking horrible, but I fucking loved it because of how fucking terrible the zombie AI was.
Yeah.
And how god awful the fucking character models looked.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even think you can buy that game for PC anymore. You can buy like a fucking copy for the PS360 for like $1.50 off eBay though.
Yeah.
I'm tempted just to do that, honestly. Not even fucking
I mean, do a game review.
I'll do a fucking video. Ralph, come on down and we'll play a bunch of shit.
We'll play a bunch of games that suck. I mean, that sounds like a good video idea. To me, at least.
Fuck. You know,
Anyway.
I kind of want to get a Series X, you know?
Yeah, same.
Completely off topic, but, you know, just so I can, you know, have an excuse to replay a lot of my 360 games that are just scattered and put up.
I had to unfortunately sell all my 360 games.
I still have my 360, but sometimes it acts funny. I don't think it's got a whole lot of life left into it. Sometimes it'll just randomly turn on and off.
Right.
And I look at it, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I haven't touched you in like a year. So, you know, like, what is your fucking problem?
Yeah, well, it wants to be played, man. Me, I just haven't had time, honestly. Time is like the biggest enemy for me.
Yeah, that's just how life is, man. You gotta make, you gotta, you know,
Gotta manage time
you
better.
gotta manage your time. You gotta make time. You gotta sell time. You gotta skip
Bargain
around
with it.
time. You gotta get less time, more time, overtime. Time
little
for
bit of time.
Time for Jerry to tell a funny fucking joke. Time to die.
Time to rock out here.
Time for us to figure out where the fuck this episode's going.
I haven't figured that out, honestly. Where's the script? Where's the script? Shit, where's the script? Is that the script?
Kind of just we went way off the rails, but I kind of like it when we do because I think that our best stuff is when we just go off the rails and just talk about random shit.
I mean, that's the whole point of a podcast.
By the way, excuse the shitty fucking layout I got here. It's a terribly TV with a pumpkin and a terrible skull fucking image pasted over. This is courtesy of your local fat nerd who was too lazy to fucking get the images set up. So, don't look at this episode as a reference for visual quality. Think of it as just an audio quality.
Yeah. Just chill back, relax, have some popcorn, have some laugh.
We both are using quality equipment. I'm using a Blue Yeti, which is...
I'm using a Quadcast from HyperX.
Quadcast. Yeah, I heard those are pretty good for like streaming stuff.
when I was picking out a mic, it was literally those two, either a Quadcast or a Blue Yeti. And at the time, the Quadcast was cheaper than the Blue Yeti, so I went with the Quadcast.
I think the thing I struggle with just mic, this mic's good, it's a Blue Yeti, it's, standard for USB mics,
Yeah.
I know now they have like a pro version that like also like that uses like USB, but you could also use XRL, which a lot of big professionals use XRL.
They also have a stand, but I don't have one of those.
So some mics actually is kind of weird because a lot of these mics have both XRL and like USB, so it's like, which isn't bad. I mean, a lot of streamers eventually upgrade to like, especially when they go like pro, like they upgrade to like XRL because XRL is obviously better quality. It's analog. However, to do XRL, you have to have like an audio DAC to plug into a computer.
Yeah.
It's like, which isn't terrible, I mean, audio DACs have gotten a lot cheaper, especially since that market's kind of grew. You just need something with like phantom power, and it just plugs into your PC, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe someday down the line, I've been trying to get back into voice acting. Maybe someday down the line, if I, if my voice acting, if I get, serious about it, I could, get an XRL mic and an audio DAC.
I mean, that makes sense. Always keep improving.
Yeah, totally. But this mic is pretty good. I got this mic like, I got it like a few years ago. I think like back in I think it was 2019. Yeah, it was 2019 I got this mic. And it was at Walmart. I was at Walmart. And I specifically remembered I'd bought this mic. And I bought some cookies. I don't know why I'm telling everybody this, but here I am. And it was Loft House cookies, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because everybody hates Lost House cookies. I fucking love them. You can kiss my fucking ass. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I'm fucking terrible because I like stuff that people fucking hate.
I do too, honestly.
People are slowly starting to respect Nickelback. Slowly, very slowly.
Again. Anyway.
I heard people used to hate Journey back in the 80s, apparently. The band.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Some younger people may not. I mean, how they're older than me, and I'm surprised I even know about it.
I mean,
listen, I have a lot of relatives that listens to fucking 80s music, so it's like...
oh, so like they just used it around you, and yes.
I kind of grew up with it, kind of. I grew up around it. Like, I grew up around, like old country music and old rock music and old pop music.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why, I don't know how many people out there can relate to that, but I'm sure some do, but,
Yeah.
I know you do, Ralph. Your folks usually listen to a lot of,
Last time I checked, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of older music.
Remember every time, I'd go to hang out with you and, your folks, so like Joe, to be listening to Kid Rock on the radio, which is
yeah.
Good. I can jam with Kid Rock. I don't know why I'm talking.
I was surprised that it was Kid Rock though. Like, we didn't have like anything hooked up. It was just on the radio.
Yeah, I'm surprised Kid Rock was even on the radio. He hasn't been on the radio since the 90s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know what was Kid Rock even do. I heard he ran for senator at one point. That's all I fucking know. I know he was on fucking he was on WWE. I think it was SummerSlam.
Was it
SummerSlam? Was it SummerSlam?
Don't remember.
Might have been SummerSlam.
It's been so long.
It was when Brock Lesnar and Reigns fought, and he brought in the fucking tractor.
Yeah.
I think it was SummerSlam. I just specifically remember, like he like made out with his fucking fat fucking hick, and then he just flipped off the camera, and they just instantly cut away from him. Yeah, but I think Kid Rock's in like the Hall of Fame for some reason. He might be.
Yeah, I think so.
WWE has a weird obsession of putting just random celebrities in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's honestly very odd.
Fuck. Oh, fuck.
Yep.
Well, damn. I think we've had quite an episodic adventure.
Yep.
I don't know how to end this episode off.
We all hope you, here.
Well,
We all hope that you have a great Halloween.
yeah, we
and
hope you guys have a great Halloween and, you know, hopefully,
stay out
you
of
know,
trouble.
an upcoming good Thanksgiving. I think we can say Happy Thanksgiving still. Can we still say that?
I don't know.
Happy Thanksgiving. I mean, hopefully we'll have an episode before Thanksgiving.
Hopefully, no promises.
And hopefully we'll have a goddamn episode before Christmas.
I would hope, but yeah, no promises. I'm sorry.
Or at least before New Year's.
just do it on the day of New Year's. Just like 3, 2, 1. Like they just hear that.
Hey
live
guys,
reaction.
welcome to the podcast where two fucking weirdos fucking talk about random shit nobody cares about. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning into this installment of the podcast, or the Nightshift podcast. All right.
Yep.
Till next time, guys. Sayonara.
Peace.
Yeah.